Hello there. Welcome. My name is Ponjul Zwalda and I'll be your geography teacher. We will start with map skills and our topic today is identifying the features on orthophoto maps. So let's go into the lesson. So what is an orthophoto map? It is important to do a quick revision of aerial photographs before we define what orthophoto maps are. So aerial photographs are photographs that are taken from the air by flying objects, and these flying objects can either be aeroplanes, they can be jets, they can be helicopters, they can be anything as long as it's flying. Hot balloon, if you like, hot air balloon. As long as it is airborne and it's able to take pictures, all such pictures are referred to as aerial photographs. And there are two types of aerial photographs that you must have learned. If not, then I will show you today. The first type of aerial photograph is what we call oblique aerial photographs. These are photographs that are taken from flying objects, but they are taken in such a way that the camera lens is skewed or tilted at an angle. And because the camera is tilted at an angle, the kind of picture that you will get is pictures such as this one. Pictures such as that. So this one is called an oblique aerial photograph because it was taken with a tilted camera. And then the other type of aerial photograph is the aerial photograph that is taken at a direct angle to the landform or to the landscape. And this direct angle photograph will produce, or camera will produce, a picture such as this. And the difference between oblique and vertical aerial photograph is that in oblique you see features from the side, while in vertical aerial photographs you see features from the very top. All right, so everything in the photograph of a vertical aerial photograph will be seen from the top, like you can see the top, the roofs of all of these houses. So that is a vertical aerial photograph. Now, vertical aerial photographs, this is a very good example of vertical aerial photographs, of old vertical aerial photographs, because they used to all be in black and white. Nowadays, you see them more like that in color, all right? The reason why they used to be in black and white was for the reason of cost. It was to cut cost, okay? Because back in the day, it was much expensive to produce color pictures. Nowadays, it's easier and it's cheaper. So you get a lot of vertical aerial photographs that look like this, right? And of course, it has more details and it's easier to interpret, isn't it? Yeah. So now that we know what vertical aerial photographs are, we can then easily define orthophoto maps. So when you take a vertical aerial photograph and then put upon it information about the altitude and relief of the same place, what you then have is referred to as an orthophoto map. So what is the information of altitude and relief that I am talking about? When you then put contour lines, remember, contour lines are lines that join places of the same altitude. So contour lines are information about the altitude of a place. And when you have altitude corrected and put on the same scale and then superimposed, and superimpose simply means to put on top of. When you superimpose contour lines on a vertical aerial photograph, what you have is referred to as an orthophoto map. Okay, so it is important to also note that most of the orthophoto maps you will be interacting with or working with are the ones that are produced by the National Geospatial Information. It's produced by the Directorate of the National Geospatial Information, and it is maps such as this, and we will consider the features on these maps in a bit. Okay, so let's look at the features of an orthophoto map. Remember that an orthophoto map would have things such as places, you would have names of places. Like on this one, you can see this is the Marine Drive, okay? So names of roads, names of streets, you would have all of that. Points and buildings, you will see buildings, because remember that an orthophoto map is a vertical aerial photograph, and because it is a photograph, it will have information such as houses and all of that, vegetation, what have you. Like in this case, you can see the water here, the sea here. You can see residential areas here. You can see vegetation and open fields around here. All of that, of course, because this probably not open fields, but it is a steep elevation around here. Why? Because the contour lines are very close together, indicating the steep nature of that area. Okay, so but these are the kind of information you will get on an orthophoto map. Remember, you will see information about everything on that area. Okay, you would see houses, you would see the recreation sites, you would see the conservation sites, you will see the farmlands, you will see airports, you will see landing strips. If there are on that area, you will see all the information, but at the same time, you would have contour lines superimposed on it. So the orthophoto maps produced by the NGI would look like this. Very important is to note that you will get a reference at the top left corner of every topo map produced, orthophoto map produced by the NGI. Okay, at the top left corner, it will indicate the reference of the map. And we will get down to understanding how this reference system has been developed by the NGI. We will talk about it in subsequent lessons. Okay, but note that when you see this, it is just a code for knowing where the map is, or among all the maps that are produced by the NGI, to specifically identify every map by a specific code. And that is what this code or reference is. So you'll see that at the top left corner of every topo map. You will also see what we have talked about a bit, and that is the scale of the map. I did indicate to you that every topo map, or every orthophoto map, in South Africa produced by the NGI is produced in the scale of 1 to 10,000. 1 to 10,000. Okay, that means every 1 centimeter on this paper represents 10,000 centimeters on ground. That is what that scale tells you. Okay, so if you then get a scale or any map produced in a scale of 1 to 15,000, what does that mean? You should be able to tell what that means now. But remember that all orthophoto maps produced by the NGI in South Africa are in the scale of 1 to 10,000. Now, let's look at scale. I just mentioned scale now, so this will be a very good time to talk about large scale maps and small scale maps. Now, I just told you that orthophoto maps in South Africa are always in the scale of 1 to 10,000. Compare that scale to a scale of 1 to 50,000. The question to you is, which of the scales do you think is bigger? Which of the scales do you think is bigger? Is it 1 to 10,000 or 1 to 50,000? Now, here is how you can easily remember or be able to tell which of two scales is bigger or smaller. Remember that a scale in ratio form like this, if I say 1 to 10,000, it simply means 1 all over 10,000. And 1 to 50,000 also means 1 over 50,000. If I take a piece of paper, one sheet of paper, and I break that up into 10,000 pieces, okay? This is how I explain my understanding of ratio and fractions. And if you can see this, it should help you remember quickly. If you take one piece of paper like this one here stands for one piece, okay? Take any one thing and break it up into 10,000 pieces. Take that same one thing and break it up into 50,000 pieces. Which pieces will be smaller and which will be bigger? Of course, you will tell me that this piece broken up into 10,000 will be bigger than the same one thing broken up into 50,000 pieces. And that is how we are able to tell that scales or maps that have scales that are around 1 to 10,000 or smaller than this one would be bigger scale. This is a larger scale than this map. So this map here is a larger scale than this. Why? For the obvious reason that like I've just shown you, this will be a smaller piece, a bigger piece than this one a bigger piece than that one. And also that means that the picture or the maps produced by a scale that is 1 to 10,000 will show more details. You see, like on this map, if I were to put contour lines on this photograph, it will become an orthophoto map. Take that orthophoto map, compare it with this one. You see, on this one, you can see details like the houses, the streets, the roads, and all of that. You can even see vegetation. That is so much detail on this map. Compare it to this one. All I see here is just contour lines and maybe rivers, okay? So large scale maps show very large, or they show a lot of details about a place, while small scale maps show very little details about a place. Take note of that. And that is what differentiates an orthophoto map from a topographic map that we'll talk about in subsequent lessons. All right. So features, other features of an orthophoto map is that you will see all orthophoto maps have contour lines. All right. And you can see all of those contour lines. Now, those contour lines are simply information about the elevation or about the altitude of a place. Now, every aerial photograph that has had contour lines superimposed or put upon them is now or are now referred to as orthophoto maps. So this is an orthophoto maps. You will get contour lines indicating height of a place on any orthophoto map. So that is another important thing to look out for in any orthophoto maps. So that is that about orthophoto maps, and I will see you next time as we explore the world one lesson at a time. Bye bye.